Man charged in alleged threat against journalists seeking Nashville shooter manifesto. And you may recall back in March, there was a shooting at a school in Nashville, Tennessee. It was called the Covenant School Shooter. Michael Patrick Leahy is the CEO of the Star News Network, and he has a radio show, the Tennessee Star Report. I appear on it periodically, and I know Michael quite well. He has received some serious death threats, and so this article, Man Charged in Alleged Threat Against Journalists Seeking Nashville Shooter Manifesto, it was directed at Michael because he filed a lawsuit trying to force the release of the manifesto. We don't know why they want to keep it secret, because in the past, whenever there was some unhinged person and they had a manifesto, they always released the manifesto. And I want to read to you some of the threats that Michael received. And then I want you to really reflect on what is going on here. Why are these people so determined to keep that particular manifesto hidden from public view? Well, I can't say all the words that this man used in his communications with Michael because it wouldn't be very ladylike. Here's one of the threats that Michael received through email. Michael Patrick Leahy, if it were not illegal to beat your, I'll just say behind, I'd have done it months ago. I have called your show twice because you decided to pound home the transgender Audrey Hale while people who suffered were healing. You dirty, potato-eating Mick. If I see you on the street, I'm going to end your conservative slant eye behind. That was the mild threat. The threats escalate. I'm willing to go to prison to end you. You dirty, drug addict, Irish fool. You either end your talk show or I'll end your life in real time while you do it. You have no right to the manifesto of Audrey Hale, and you just want content by obtaining it. Now this threat, just think about this unhinged person, but think about where we are today in America. We have an American society where we have millions of young people who don't believe that free speech is something to be valued. They don't value free speech. And they see any type of criticism. They see the work of law enforcement. And in this case, Michael is a journalist. That's part of what they do. They pursue answers. They want to know facts. They want to know why things occur. The public has a right to know what Audrey Hale wrote in her manifesto. She wrote it to be read by the world. Even if there are concerns that another unhinged person might read that manifesto and engage in action, we need to know what is motivating people to be so violent. And in the case of Audrey Hale, nothing was handled the way it should have been handled, even her autopsy. They looked for drugs in her system, but they did not look for the prescription drugs that she may have been on that could have increased her testosterone and made her more aggressive. In any event, she did a mass shooting. It's not something that a woman normally does, but in her particular case, she was a trans male. She was a woman who identified as a male, even though the media, the so-called legacy media, the people that covered the story, they referred to her as a she, and they just skirted by the fact that it was a trans person. In any other case, they would have argued that it would be misgendering that person, a terrible crime if you did not call the trans person by whatever sex they identified. They made an exception for Audrey Hale. Audrey Hale, who became violent, we don't know if she was on prescription drugs. She wrote a manifesto, and because Michael Patrick Leahy has been determined to fight for the public's right to know, he has had his life threatened. Boy, folks, we better pray for America.